We are back with Rita and Don from the NDSU Extension Office talking about apples. I got my morning snack there, trying all the apples, all varieties that you can find here in North Dakota and Minnesota. So thank you for that, Don. Although I want to sample what Rita brought. So we're going to talk about what to do with your apple harvest. And first, we're going to talk about peeling the apples.
Right. So, you know, when I was growing up and when you were growing up, we probably used a paring knife and sat there for hours peeling.
I told that story sitting next to my grandma, and she would peel with the paring knife, yeah.
And so there's all these new gadgets out there to help peel apples. So the first one's called the apple peeler, and you put the apple on there and you just...
Look how, like, this is really cool.
Simple, just simple. And it will core it as we go through as well, and it spirals it. And there we have all our apples ready to roll in 2 seconds in place of 2 minutes.
Go too fast?
Nope,
all right,
that's fine.
that.
And if you want to if you don't want to invest in an apple peeler, you can just a neat apple core. You just simply send it through. Yeah, you might want to set it down so you don't.
And don't want to see me injure myself.
That's right. And it just pokes in, and then you pull it out, and all of a sudden your apple is cored. So these gadgets are available.
I'm shocked by myself that I just did that. That was awesome.
So these are available wherever.
Okay.
Grocery stores, local stores, online, wherever. So, and they vary in price from $9 to like $40. So spend how much ever you want. So now you got the apples peeled and cored.
First things first.
First things first.
Yes.
Let's make some stuff. So applesauce.
Who doesn't love
Great way to preserve your apples for the upcoming winter. I mean, I know Don said they last about 5 months in the fridge, but let's make some applesauce. Relatively easy. So for these 2 jars, you need 3 pounds of apples.
Okay.
We peeled them.
How many apples approximately would be 3 pounds?
I think it was about 8.
Oh, okay.
Depends on the size of the apples. You know, Don had all sizes over there.
Yes.
We peeled them, cored them. We put them in a stock pot with a half a cup of water on the stove. We cooked them down until they got really mushy. Then we stirred them and mushed them more. You can put them through the sieve if you really want more. Heat it up, add sugar, because you saw how tart they were.
Yes.
Put the hot applesauce into a hot jar with a lid. Put it in your boiling bath can.
A lot of people use applesauce as a substitute in a lot of different recipes, baking now. So
we're going to make applesauce bread after we get back at some point with this applesauce.
All right, I love that.
So easy to make.
Easy.
And then you process it for 15 minutes in a hot water bath. Well, here's our next thing.
Can I try one of these?
Yep, they're for you to eat.
Do you want to try one too?
We have dehydrated apples. And with dehydrated apples, it really varies on your dehydrator. Our dehydrator we have in the office is a 5-layer dehydrator, and so we filled the layers, and then you had to change the trays every 4 hours for 24 to 48 hours.
It's a lot of work.
However, some of my coworkers said, well, their dehydrator, they put them on the tray, put them in for 12 hours, and shut it off, and they're done, and they didn't have to rotate the trays. So with dehydrating, you need to follow the instructions with your dehydrator.
Okay, good point. You need to read directions. For all the guys out there.
And of course, apple pie.
I wish you guys could smell this. It's just
so apple pie. I grew up making apple pie with my mother and my grandma, and according to my nephews, no one makes better pie than grandma's apple pie. So we make them and put them in the freezer, so we have them all year long. Now, how do you do that? Many different ways. You can cut up all the apples with the sugar and flour and your seasoning in, put that in bags so the filling's ready to go. You can make the crust, roll up the crust, put your apple pie filling in it, put the other crust on, wrap them up really good, and then when you're ready to eat them, you take them out and bake them. Or you can actually make the whole pie and bake them and freeze them that way. So you just have to thaw them out at that time. So
maybe more work on the front end, but then you can just pull it out.
And they're ready to roll. So again, it depends on the apples. Our pie crust recipe was 2 cups of Crisco, 4 cups of flour, a cup of cold water, and a half a teaspoon of salt, and you cut it together with a pie crust cutter. And then we rolled that out. Our filling
I was going to say, your apples, what do you choose?
Our apples, we actually had Haraldsons, and so we have about 6 cups of apples, which is 8 apples, 3/4 cup of sugar, a 1/4 cup of flour, and that gives a thickening in that. We have nutmeg and cinnamon in there. And then we baked it for 15 minutes on 425, and that helps brown the crust. And then we turn it down to 325, and you bake it until the apples are tender inside.
Okay,
So
I love it. We're out of time. Guess who? Tell us who gets to eat that today.
we have a meeting at work, so the people coming to our office get to pie
I said
today.
they're lucky. I don't like meetings, but I would go to a meeting if I got to eat some of that apple pie. Rita, Don, thank you so much for coming in, and I can't believe you could just remember all the ingredients just right off the top of your head like that. You're good.
Thanks.
Very
Thank
good.
you.
All right, stay with us. We'll be right back here on North Dakota Today.
So-